The new head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here's Craig Berube. How you doing, Craig?
Good, guys. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. Congratulations. Is everything kind of sunk in for you?
Yeah, it's all good. Again, just excited to be here. It's a first-class organization. I've been here for a couple days and, really looking forward to getting going here down the road. But like I said, just excited and great people, working with great people here, and obviously can't wait to work with the team.
Greg, how secretive were, it seems like every time there's a coach hired, there's videos of them at the airport. How buttoned down was this? Did you have to get to Toronto on the down low, or how secretive was the whole process?
Not really any. I mean, I jumped on a flight and cruised in here with my tracksuit on and then rolled into a car and got to the hotel.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
What I want to hear, man.
Yeah, that is good because, it does seem to, there's always up here in Toronto, people are tracking flights. There's some wild stuff going on. Maybe that's actually the answer. Just jump on a regular plane and get in the car and drive
with
downtown.
With a tracksuit.
Yeah, people will ultimately leave you alone. And, you obviously you were a hot commodity, so to speak. It's our understanding you interviewed with other teams. Was this Toronto job always the one that you had your eye on and the one you wanted?
Well, like I said, you don't know what you're going to get. Obviously there's jobs out there. Yeah, it'd be a great job, and this is obviously one of them. Again, to work for Toronto Maple Leafs, just the history, the original six, and working in up in Canada in this environment is very appealing. And like I said, I really believe that talking with Brad and Brendan Shanahan, and we're all on the same page on what we believe in, and then I look at the roster and I'm like, it's a very good hockey team. So I'm excited. I'm ready to get going.
So have you had extensive conversations with Tree as far as how the roster is going to be constructed? I mean, a lot of times the coach and the manager work together as far as some of the things that you do on your teams. Is that something that you've had those conversations with Tree about?
Well, not a ton. We're kind of just taking it step by step here, guys. It's kind of like 2 days on the job here. So a lot of stuff we are taking care of, and we're working towards that. But we're definitely going to have conversations here coming up about it.
With Craig Berube, the new head coach of the Maple Leafs, and we were referencing your press conference today, and you spoke about your relationship with the players, and the word accountability comes up all the time, and it's just natural. Every new coach gets it in every sport. But in terms of what you're going to ask of your players, can you detail that for us? What's the day one conversation, Craig Berube to his players? This is what I'm looking for, and this is what I expect the players to bring to the table.
Yeah, I talked about it today. It's team first here. What's the most important thing is the team and what's best for the team. Obviously we expect our players to do their job. Really, it's like, what's your job? Do your job. That's what we expect, and you got to make sacrifices for the team. That's obviously very important because if we want to be a team first mindset, you got to make sacrifices at times. But again, I talked about today, everybody's important. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to have a role on a team, and everybody's going to be used.
Well, you used the term partnership, and you just detailed your side of the partnership. I'm curious, if you have examples in the past or expectations in the future of how that partnership can go the other way in order to maybe keep you accountable, to challenge you in certain ways. Is that how you define a partnership, a two-way ship, a two-way street, so to speak?
But my door's open to all the players, and they're going to know that. And I've had players in the past come in and talk to me about situations, things that could be numerous things. I'm not going to bring them up, but like I said, we work together, and that's really, in my opinion, that's how it works best. As a coach, I want to be challenged, and my players have things to challenge me about, then they should.
Craig, when you talk about relationships, you mentioned you're only a couple days on the job, so you're probably going to have to take a breath and just kind of settle in. But, are you the type of coach that'll get on a plane and go visit some of your top players and just kind of try and foster that relationship maybe away from the rink so that you can settle in and get to know them personally before you have to work with them?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. It's something that, I want to do. So I want to try to, arrange some time to go see some players and, meet with them and talk to them. I met some guys here today, which was great. So, but I always like, in-person conversations and face-to-face conversations. Like I said, I reached out to a lot of these guys on the phone already and through text and things like that. But, we'll down the road, we want to get together.
Chief, you mentioned North-South today, and this team has been a possession team for a number of years here. So how does that change? I know every coach, regardless of what your philosophy in hockey is, wants to get the puck, wants to keep the puck. But just North-South, is that just more of a direct route to the puck and keep it once you get it?
Well, 100%. When I talk North-South, I talk about predictable hockey. It's starting in your own zone on breakouts where people are in position. You have outs, you make the play. Let's go north with it. Area plays. Listen, in St. Louis there, we were one of the highest puck possession teams in the league. We're a great forechecking team. And you have to possess the puck in different ways. It can't all be off the rush. If you watch the playoffs here and, how tight it is, there's no room. You got to put pucks deep and you got to go get them. And you go forecheck and you get the puck back, that's puck possession.
With Craig Berube, the new head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, this team's history in the playoffs, well documented. We had you on during the playoffs to chat about it. How do you approach the history of the players who are going to stick around? There's always change, but the players that are sticking around, that are going to be here, that have been here for quite some time, that have the playoff history that they have, how do you approach that topic and I guess prepare for the next time you're in the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't think we want to look back on that. To be honest with you, that was in the past. I wasn't here. I'm gonna, my players, I want them to focus on the process of getting there. And that starts in the summertime, obviously through camp, and then we get going in the regular season. They're going to hear a lot from me about the process and just staying with the process and focusing on that. And, playoffs come around, then we'll deal with playoffs. But, it's a long year, guys. There's a lot of work to put in, and we want to, I'll say it again, just focus on the process.
So, Craig, you St. Louis, you had success. You came in there. Obviously, you won. And, I played there. It's a different animal than coaching in Toronto. Have you prepared yourself, or have you at least thought about and had conversations about how big of an adjustment it will be for you personally as far as talking every day? I mean, I can't imagine what the responsibilities were in Toronto with the scribes there, but it's a lot different here. You're going to be front and center. A lot of people asking you questions daily, sometimes 2 and 3 times you're getting interviewed. Is that something that you've thought about?
Oh, definitely. That's, I know it's a huge market. It's a huge media market. And, I knew that coming in here. And so, again, that's part of the job. And that's part of my job. So it's just another thing that I gotta, work and do. So I don't think there's any preparation, to be honest with you. Again, it's just me doing my job.
With Craig Berube, in terms of your staff, Craig, do you start immediately trying to fill that out? What's the plan?
Yeah, Brad and I are going to sit down and we're going to talk about all this stuff going forward here. So it's definitely high on the list. We got to get that situated and, get the right people in here. Whether it's people that we're here already, we're not sure. We got a process that we got to go through and, make sure we get it right.
Craig, the game's changed a lot, but you mentioned, accountability, some toughness. Are you seeing some of the things happening in the playoffs? How is that balance, or how are you going to talk to your team about the balance as far as competing, but you do have some guys that aren't shy to drop the gloves, or at least will be not shy to mix it up in scrums. Do you feel there's a fine line? Obviously, it's not when we played where 8-10 guys were dropping the gloves, but the game has changed. But you still really expect them to compete nightly.
Well, 100% competing and playing hard is a must. That's a non-negotiable. Toughness is not the fighting side of things. Toughness is, puck battles and taking hits to make plays and putting yourself, blocking shots, all that types of stuff. Yeah, sometimes guys drop the gloves, but that's part of the game still. We all know that. It's not as much anymore, but, I want my team to be, tough in those other areas. And then also, mental toughness and things like that. Those are all important things that, good teams have all those things. So that's what we want to get to.
But Craig Berube, have you ever had a press conference where there's another guy up there that you work with that you fought multiple times in your career, like today with Shanahan?
No, I think that might have been the first one. I'm not sure.
That must have been gratifying hearing him say, maybe I shouldn't have taken that challenge on. But, man, the two of you guys had a bunch of battles, didn't you, throughout your career?
Yeah, it was, the Devils and us back in the day with the Flyers. There was a lot of battles. Both teams were physical and tough. And Shanny, So, listen, boys, I would change places with him any time to score as many goals as he scored.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he did it all. That's for sure. Well, welcome aboard officially. We've obviously had you on a bunch in the past. We look forward to having you on more in the future. And good luck settling in back in Toronto. As you said today, you were here for a brief time back in the early 90s. And we're looking forward to seeing what you do with the job. So thank you for joining us today, Craig.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me on.